came up to, I'm only 2 minutes drive away from ground. So I came up this morning at 11 o'clock. School I work in, which is again 4 or 5 miles from here, I've been watching every day, and at 11 o'clock is our sort of break time with kids. And so when I've been out, I've seen at 11 o'clock sun's getting out and pitch is thawing, so I thought we'll get while 11, get a good chance. So I came up at 11
with the referee, I'm guessing.
Well, Paul came up with me, Paul Kay, and referee Mark Elliott came across. He lives local, so he came up, and probably the far side up to 18-yarder. Well, it were all white, but the touchline to 18-yarder on dugout side had got a band of green, and you could see the sun getting up, and it was weird to watch it. With 10 minutes as we were here, it was as though somebody had turned underground heating on, and you could see frost melting, and with it at 11:15, it was like it is now. It was clear, but it was still quite firm underfoot. So look, excuse me, we looked at it and we thought, well, we've got another 2 hours yet. And sun obviously is getting up. It was trying to, get up. It was just getting over apex at houses. We've a good chance here. And by the time we left at 11:30, referees both live local. Well, all 3 referees live in Barnsley, within Barnsley. Hemsworth is not a million miles away. So we said, look, nobody's sort of travelling a long way. Let's get a go see what we like at 1 o'clock. And obviously they've come up, and the main area is this area here.
So should we walk across?
Yeah. Well, it's obviously opposite to dugout side, but it's where new houses are, and you can see the sun's probably just about at its highest point now, sun, but sun's not been able to get on this area, so it's still white over, and it is hard underfoot. It's not even a quarter at pitch, but whether it, you're looking at player welfare. Last thing anybody wants is for a kid to go down, any player to go down, either fall awkward and break their arm or bang their head on essentially concrete. We don't want that for anybody at any time.
But I mean, it doesn't look good from a publicity angle, game on and then game off, but the referee just wanted to give it a go, didn't he?
And it's hard, because it's an hard one to call, because we could have called it off. We could have called it off last night. We could have said we were up. Well, Todd at groundsman, I spoke to Toddy, as I've told you before. I speak to him every day, and Toddy were like me. He says 11 o'clock you've no chance. Walking football were called off this morning. Mini mainers were called off. You've no chance at 11 o'clock. But come what, he says, when I've been leaving ground at 1 o'clock every day, pitch has been playable. Last night, what cold it's been, I think it got down about -5, so that were a concern. But we could have called it off last night, and then you get sun out, and everybody's going, well, what you called it off for? We could have played 11 o'clock this morning. If we'd have been 100% certain it wasn't playable, we'd have called it then. We don't want to get anybody.
And I think if it'd been a team from half an hour away,
if it had been, I don't know, not in our league, but such as your Dronfield, who's travelling 45 minutes an hour over, then we'd have made a call and probably said it's going to be off. But the fact that we're talking 20 minutes down the road, Hemsworth, I hope that they're not disappointed that we haven't deliberately brought anybody out under false pretences. We genuinely thought game were going to be on, and fair play to ref. He's come. When we left at 11:30. He says, if it don't clear, we'll call it. And I says, look, it's your call. We don't put anybody under any pressure. And what's got to be paramount is player safety.
But sometimes the sun's higher, isn't it, as well?
It is. I mean, I'm looking now, smacking sun, and it's not got much above height at houses. So this area here, where new builds are, it's not managed to get over them, and that's why it's not thawed out. Ironic thing about it is, and again talking to ref this morning and with Paul, it's probably no harder than when you're playing on pitches in August. And I've never ever known a game postponed in August because pitch is too hard. But that's not, pitch is playable. Referees made that call. We're comfortable with that call. Hemsworth, they haven't kicked a fuss up, boy. They're happy with call. And we'll go, it's the right thing to do. And I think if you look at North East Counties games and a lot of county senior games today, there'll not be many on. I mean, I bet even some at 4G pitches might be doubtful today if it's as deep a frost as it has been. So we're not going to be only club in area. I know our reserve should have been played at Wombwell Town, and they called theirs off last night. It happens, you know. Each club look at their facilities and look at their pitch, and they called it off last night. We tried to get a good today, and I'm not, you know, they're pitching fit. That's fine. We tried to get a little bit longer, and game's been postponed. But there's nothing anybody can do, and nobody, as I said, nobody's sort of moaned and, well, it should have been this, it should have been, you should have let us know earlier. In fact, when we were up here at 11 o'clock, Paul rang their secretary and says we're on pitch now, and their secretary were fine. Yep, no problem, we'll get across. And it's been called off back in olden days. I've just been talking to Donovan, and this is what it used to be when I played. This is what it used to be. Ref turned up half an hour before and went, yeah, we're playing, or no, we're not. And that's how it is.
And then in the bar. But in terms of next week, obviously Penistone away, it's been a bit of a frustrating 6 weeks, hasn't it, with game after game called off?
Yeah, obviously. Ironically, best part or worst part at pitch it rain, that side what always gets waterlogged, is today's best part at pitch. It's absolutely perfect. We have 2/3 at pitch when it's heavy, what are perfect, and a third what, and today it's sort of reverse.
But it's just been stop-start, hasn't it?
And it has. And again, we haven't cancelled any games. What you know, what shouldn't have been cancelled. Pitch what playable. Fact that we didn't have a fixture last week because as opponents had put in months ago a free week. So it'd have been nice to get going again after Stocksbridge, because there's a few things that we needed to address and put right from that game. And when I always try and sort of look into games, and only this week I've been thinking about Stocksbridge game, and I said after the game, that's best Stocksbridge side I've seen up there for a lot of good few years, and it's possibly worst performance we've put in, certainly this year, possibly the last couple of years. So their best performance and our worst performance, and we still come out with a draw. So if you're looking at positives like that, but it'd be nice today to get a game on against a footballing side like Hemsworth on what looks a great pitch, and hopefully got a positive result and kicked on from there. But it can't happen. With Penistone next week, PE teacher at our school, he lives in Penistone, so I'll be asking him what weather's like. I'm sure Mr. Allsworth, I'm sure Ryan will keep us up to date with what pitch is looking like, and hopefully we can go up there and get a game on. But generally speaking, if you're looking at weather, our pitches is generally not better nick Penistone pitches quality, but weather-wise, Penistone gets it a lot worse than we do. So fingers crossed that we can get next week on.
I think you've been keeping people awake, haven't you, over this England international?
Oh, right.
Is there any more clues? I think.
I honestly don't. I don't think. I'll give you one more clue. I could give it personally.
Let's not name it till another day.
I'll save it for another week. But what I will say, if you listen back to what I said last week, obviously we all got Jamie Vardy, and I said it's 2 England internationals, and one of them have actually captained the country. Just think a little bit outside the box, because I've said he's played for England and he's captained his country. I haven't actually said what sport he's at.
So save that one for another day.
I'll give you the answer next week. It isn't football. It isn't football.
So what's the message? Stay tuned.
Yeah, I'll tell you all next week.